Okay, some random thoughts on Norwegian politics in September 2013. I just was inspired, or whatever you want to call it, to make this video because I've been reading a lot of articles about how we have now elected a more or less right-wing extremist party into parliament, and they've been in parliament for years, been into government. They're going to be part of the new government. Oh my god, the Breivik party, supposedly, that we're being told in this country a lot of foreign newspapers are printing. And of course, TV channels and whatever. Media. Let's say media. I just wanted to say a few words about that. The party in question is the Progress Party. And they have been in parliament for many, many years. They've never had the chance to be in government until now, when the blue side, as we call it, won the election by a significant majority, and now there are 4 parties on that side. They are, right now, I'm filming this on December 16th, right now they're negotiating to see if they can form a government, if they can work out a platform for the 4 parties, or for just 3, or for technically even just 2. But one of them is almost guaranteed to be the Progress Party. And we're getting a lot of flack for this, apparently in the media abroad, because the Progress Party is Breivik's party. And supposedly they agree with him and they will put his policies into life. His policies were what? To make himself king? Yeah, they're not going to be fighting for that. Let me reassure you. And I just wanted to try to correct a few mistakes here because it's just not true. It's just so far off the mark to call them the Breivik party. He was a member of their youth organization, I think it was, a member of the party for a few years. But he let his membership lapse. He just decided to not pay his membership fee anymore, and of course, as a result of that, they took him off the books as a member. He was no longer a member at all. So he hasn't been a member there for many, many years. And the reason why he stopped going to meetings and stopped paying his membership fee and whatever, it was because they wouldn't listen to his opinions. Yeah, they didn't go anywhere near far enough, and they thought he was going too far, and they wouldn't listen to him. So it's really unfair to say that that they are his party. I don't believe he votes for them. In Norway, even if you're convicted of a crime, no matter how vile, you don't lose your right to vote. We think that it's kind of primitive to take away someone's right to vote. I don't think most people here even think about it. But I know that in the United States, it's perfectly normal that if you're convicted of a serious crime, you lose your right to vote, which I think is very wrong and very strange. But be that as it may, I don't think he votes for them. I think they're far too bland for him. The one thing where you can say it's kind of fair to tarnish them with that brush is that he has said that if they had gotten into government in the last parliamentary elections, that was in 2009, then he probably wouldn't have done it. It's what he's saying now, after he already did do it. So that's like, what if that's sort of, I don't even see the point of discussing that, because if pigs could fly, well, they can't, so what's the point of even talking about that? And of course, that's if they had carried out any of their policies. They don't have these extremist policies that a lot of people seem to think they have. And they are what we have instead of Front National and some maybe more extreme parties like that, but they aren't automatically the same. A lot of people, immigration-friendly people, will say that the Progress Party, they want to stop all immigration and create absolute lockdown. No, they don't. They actually want free immigration into Norway. But they see that that is not compatible with a welfare state. So they want to scale down the welfare state in some ways, scale it up in other ways. But they want basically free immigration. They just want that to be useful immigration. If you want to come here to work and you can get a job, then you are heartily welcome in the Progress Party's Norway. But you can't get all kind of benefits. You can't export benefits. If your child has never set foot in Norway, then in the Progress Party's views, you don't get child benefits for that child. And when you're no longer needed here, when your work is done, you need to go back where you came from. And they think we should help refugees. In fact, as I understand it, they want us to take in more refugees. We currently take in 1,200, but they want us to take 3,000. But when you're no longer a refugee, in the sense that whatever situation caused you to flee your country is remedied and it's peaceful again, you also need to go back where you came from to help reconstruct your country. And they don't want all this family reunion things that we have. Like if you are allowed to stay here, if you get a permit to stay in Norway, then you get to bring. I thought I knew who you got to bring over from your country, but I hear all the time about people bringing in lots more than that. So what I've heard can't be right. I must have misunderstood something. And then the problem is that those people, again, can get the chance to bring their wives and children, whatever. And the Progress Party want to stop that. They want, if you can come here as a refugee, then you can when you're safely settled, you can bring your wife or husband and your underage children. And that's it. And if your children, if they're adults, you can't bring them. And if they then have children and whatever, they can't bring them over. So they want more restrictive immigration policies than we have now, on some level. But they are also they support the employer more than the employee. And so, of course, they want free immigration into the labor market because they want cheap labor. So bringing in people who will work for less is a great way to make things better for employers. And they definitely want to do that. They want free labor immigration, which I disagree with. I think as the system is now, that is actually a huge problem for us. But that's kind of another discussion. I know a lot of people who are really anti the Progress Party. And apparently now there are more and more of those people around Europe and maybe even around the world. But my experience is that the majority of those people have not actually read their party program, which is quite sensible and is not a rabid kill all the Muslims kind of thing, which it would probably be if it was Breivik's party. And they have a lot of immigrants who vote for them. They have a number of immigrants in their party. Their youth organization is headed by, what is he, from India? Is it? Their third candidate here in Oslo is from Iran or somewhere, and he didn't get into parliament. I was really sorry about that. I like him. He's an interesting guy. He has a lot of interesting things to say. I really would have wanted to see him in parliament, but maybe in 4 years. And of course these people are bullied and taunted and called like Uncle Toms, for instance, by their opponents on the left, which I think is ridiculous. You're not an Uncle Tom simply because you happen to think that our current immigration policy isn't working well. And people say they're so strict. We're the second most liberal country in Europe if you look at how many people we take in per capita. And the fact of the matter is that we can't afford it. The fact of the matter is that we're going to be in enormous trouble pretty soon. I pity my niece. She's 4 years old. She's going to be in a world of trouble by the time she's my age. Not her personally, because of anything she's done, but society as a whole is going to be really struggling with this. Partly immigration, partly the welfare state. But with the welfare state the way it is, we cannot afford the immigration that we have at current levels. It's not really a matter of opinions. It's just a fact. And do we try to handle that now, as the Progress Party wants to do, or are we going to wait until we're forced to deal with it? Which is what everyone else seems to want to do. So we're probably just going to wait. This is a really rambling video. I just wanted to try to say that it's not the way they're making it out. The Progress Party is not Breivik's party. He wanted nothing to do with them for years because they wouldn't listen to him. And they are nowhere near as extreme as a hell of a lot of people think. I have actually read their party program. Most people in this country who seem to not have read anything in it because they actually have quite a few sensible things that they are going to hopefully try to work for now. They'll get their chance in government. We have not elected Nazis to be our new leaders. We have not elected a bunch of crazy racists. There are crazy racists in the Progress Party, sure. There are crazy racists in every party, in every group, in the entire world. We're all racist on some level. I feel that is really a really bad argument. Just because a racist says something, that doesn't mean it's wrong. You know, I really feel like if you have an argument, then let's hear the strength of that argument. Don't just call someone a racist or an extremist or whatever and then sit back like you've rebutted their argument. Yeah, I don't accept that as an argument. That supposedly the Progress Party are bad people because they're racists. Their party program isn't racist. Not at all. And yeah, they want some things that are stricter than what most of the other parties want. That's true. They want asylums or homes, institutions for asylum seekers to be closed so that people can't just wander off. Most of the ones that do wander off sell drugs. Some are very young people who get kidnapped and forced into prostitution or into selling drugs or into stealing. The other parties simply say that we need to help them, but they have no action. They don't suggest any other ways to help them. The Progress Party at least have some suggestions. We can discuss whether they're good or bad. I think that the solutions that the Progress Party have are things that are they will force their way into our society sooner or later. And when they do, people are going to see it was never extremist to begin with. Their party program is online. I'm not sure if it exists in English. I never had to look for it in English, but go to frp.no, and if it exists in English, I'm sure you can find it there. If you are a Norway fan and you're worried that we're going to be over-flooded with crazy Nazis, no, that's not going to happen. They're a normal political party, and a lot of Norwegians agree with them about a lot of things. Maybe not enough to vote for them, but a lot of what they're saying really resonates with Norwegian people. And you know what? It's a democracy. It's a democracy. We voted for them. Now they're going to be in government. If you love democracy, then I don't see the problem. So yeah, don't believe everything you read. Sometimes newspaper people actually don't know their asses from their elbows and don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And this is one of those cases. So yeah, keep watching. Hopefully we won't collapse completely, and we'll be able to rebuild something from the shreds of our society that the current government has tried to scare us with, that everything will collapse in 2 weeks. It's been 1 week and nothing has collapsed yet, so fingers crossed we'll make it through.